Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I am here to assemble a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. Before we get into all that stuff, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes, like Lashbrook just did. Hello, Lashbrook. If you are not yet a subscriber, what are you waiting for? But you can use other people's emotes. You can just say hi. You can, not say anything at all. If you don't want to say anything, that's also okay. You can just hang out and chill. That's also all right. If you just feel like being a lurker, go ahead and lurk. It's a Saturday. I did a bunch of stuff outside before the rain came because it's warm and also rainy. It is the annoying combination of being finally warm again around these parts, and then also the rain just keeps fucking coming down in bits and spurts. And that's really annoying because I'm trying to get stuff done. I did the gutters, and then it rained a little bit, and then I went back out and I got up some leaves, and then it rained a lot more. But I did get the leaves done. So that was good. I was just trying to get stuff done before my folks return from their vacation, which will be a week from tomorrow. So they're coming. Let's go to the overhead camera. Here's the Altron Gundam over here on the overhead camera. As you can see, we got our Altron right here. We finished the head, the chest, the arms, the extendo dragon arms here. We did one leg, and now we're going to build the other leg. And then when we're done with the leg, we can move on to work on the backpack, which also has a dragon on it, and then the trident. And I think we're going to finish this kit tonight. I know what I'm building next. I'm excited about that. But, this actually might take the whole stream. I don't know. There's no more stickers left. But there will be a lot of panel lining to do because it's a lot of white and gray, which is cool. So yeah, I got out there and did some lawn stuff today, which I've been meaning to do for a while. Trying to get stuff done because my folks return a week from tomorrow, which means that this coming Thursday will be my last stream in the room I'm currently in here, our bonus room in the house. My wired internet connection goes away, so I have been downloading things that I felt would be good to have. Or just stuff that would be annoying on Wi-Fi, like obviously the upload between wired and Wi-Fi, not that different. It's more of like being consistent or not. The download is far superior out here than it would be on Wi-Fi because I'm wired. I'm literally looking at the router right there. So when I'm plugged into the router, it's great. So, that's going away. That's frustrating, but whatever. I did re-download Fallout 4 because I found a workaround for the crashing that was coming to my previous install. I had to start a new game, a new playthrough, I should say, but I did fix it. Something with a recent update to Windows, because Windows 11, great updates, unbelievable updates, top tier updates coming out, no problems with those. There are problems with those, and one of those problems was something that I had to change on my end, and now now Fallout 4 only crashes sometimes out of nowhere, as opposed to crashing 4 or 5 minutes into gameplay every time I got the game loaded, which was what was happening previously. So I have solved that problem. Now it just intermittently it crashes because it's an older game and it's a mess and it's a Bethesda game. So it's still going to chonk and be weird on occasion. That's just par for the course with Fallout. But yeah, so I took the opportunity to download some mods I haven't used before. I chose to ignore some other mods that I've used previously. I am still dealing with the same issue I had in my previous game where trying to use fast travel just doesn't work unless I am in power armor, which I don't want to be in. So that's been weird. And then I'm also still running into an issue. Well, got a new issue. One of my for whatever reason, I don't know what mod it is that did this, but I can't. The Red Rocket gas station, which is the first, you can make your own settlement, and then from where you grew up in Sanctuary Hills, and then you go to the Red Rocket, and that's your first one, so you can kind of get a sense of like, oh, at least you have two settlements going. I was able to craft that settlement and build it, and now it says I don't have permission, and it's not counting as my settlement anymore. And I have no idea why that's happening. It's never happened to me before. It's one of those things where I'm like, should I just restart? But I'm like, I guess I don't care enough. I don't think I'm doing these. I don't think I'm going to go high on settlements this time. So I'm like, I think it'll be okay. But it is weird. I'm booking at Diamond City because I want to do a run with like extensively do a run with Piper. So I'm like going to collect Piper as soon as I can. All right. Yeah, because I want to try to do the whole run basically with Piper. So like I've done very little outside of it. But yeah, basically it was like, you know what? My first thought was I'm going to download it because like, I'll download it because like I'm downloading a bunch of other things. I'm trying to make use of the direct connection. It has been asked previously, so I will answer this question because it is a frequently asked question, why I'm on wireless. And the main reason is we're on cable internet here, not that different from a lot of people out there. I'm on the cable internet. There is no cable hookup in the room that I work out of and sleep in. So there is no cable internet in that room. There is a cable hookup across the hall, but I would have to run an Ethernet cable under the flooring or around and up and over, and that's just not going to fly. I could also run a cable line like that, so it doesn't make any sense. And then people have talked about there's Ethernet over power lines. You can get those two adapters. That has to be basically both ends of those that plug in your outlets have to be on the same breaker, and that won't work. There's no breaker in here. The power in here won't work there. That's great if you have like an apartment and you want your cable box in one room, and the room next to it you have a computer and you'd rather it be Ethernet. You can do that because you can just plug the outlets in like on the other sides of the wall, right? Like that would be fine. Now, when we got new flooring in the house, in the hallway, I could have run an Ethernet cable across and it would have been underneath the flooring and it wouldn't have been that noticeable. And I kicked myself a little bit for not doing it then. I could have just gotten a high-rated cable and run that. So I am a little frustrated that I didn't do that at the time, because then I could have moved the router and the modem into my parents' bedroom, and then I would have had an Ethernet cable that just ran like under their carpet and then underneath the flooring that we put in. Or that we got put in. And I didn't do that. And occasionally I'm like, that would have been kind of cool. But like I said, didn't do it. So I can only complain so much about it. And with the Wi-Fi booster, it's pretty okay, right? Like sometimes if I'm like downloading something and uploading something, I get hitches now and again. But even like on this wire connection, I'm still occasionally having some of my kilobytes dip here on Twitch, which is just, the regular ass internet having some issues. So it's certainly more stable like this. I don't have connection problems. I don't have to reset the router. I think I've reset the router once since February 1st when I came in here, or end of January, whenever that was. When I came into this room, I think I reset the router like one time since. As opposed to doing it like every couple days. Or what I often end up doing is I often will reset the Wi-Fi booster that I use. Because I have a Wi-Fi booster that is then, there's an Ethernet cable that comes out of that plugs into the back of my computer. So I'm kind of tricking my computer into thinking that we're on Ethernet, when in reality we're not. We're on we're just I'm sorry, so I push this down. I'm just on Wi-Fi, but it treats it like I'm on that, which is great for me. It works out very good for your friend Pat. So yeah, I will miss that. The good internet connection is the thing I miss the most. Like so every once in a while, my parents and I talk about getting better internet. And it's expensive. And it's not something that we really have to do. But we've talked about it. And the thing that here's the thing. If we did get better internet, which would be like getting Fios or something, we would probably get it coming into either my room or the room next to me, which is the office, and then set up the Wi-Fi router in there for the house, because my folks don't really need the Wi-Fi router to be in this room. It's just that's where the cable comes in. But if we had the Fios come in, or Fios or just other fiber, either way, if we had that come in to my bedroom or the room next to mine, if it was next to mine, I could go to a short little cable in and do wired through Ethernet that way. But if then it went into my room, then it would just be Ethernet through there. And then the Wi-Fi would go through the rest of the house, which would be good for them because they don't really need a wired. Every once in a while we talk about it because my folks are thinking at some point they're going to cut the cord and get rid of cable. And then and right now the discussion has been about getting Hulu TV and like two Rokus. So I have like two Rokus and then Hulu TV, so that way they can get some TV channels, because there are TV channels they would miss. So they get the TV channels that they were interested in, and then also they would have the benefit of free Roku channels and stuff like that. So that is what has been discussed. And then the thing I said is, okay, well, getting a upgrade of your internet would be, you would still, you wouldn't even be getting close to the amount of money they pay. The amount of money my parents pay for cable, for two cable boxes, and the cable is ridiculous. It is crazy how much money they spend on that. It's been a long time since I've had cable, and I'm sure that I would have been used to it by now when I think about how much it was split between two people when I had it the last time I had it, which was the 2010s. It was crazy high for DVR, HD box, with HDMI cable boxes. That was crazy high at the time, and which I had it because I had a roommate at one point that loved basketball, and he wanted to see as much live basketball as he could, so we needed to have cable. And I was like, well, if we're paying for cable, then at the very least, I'm going to get a box in my room. And I rarely used it, if ever, but we had it. And then as soon as he moved out, when the next person came in, I said, hey, we have internet here and we don't have cable TV. We could get it if you really wanted it. And they were fine with not having it and saving money. And I was like, great, because I don't use it. That was a bad time for me, paying for something I didn't really want because my roommate insisted on it. It is what it is. But yeah, they're thinking of cutting the cable, and if they are going to cut the cord, and we're just going to go down to having the internet, I was like, well, we might want to get a beefier internet package. And we discussed, because that way also a beefier cable package or internet package that is not Spectrum, who I hate. I hate Spectrum. They're lousy with customer support. They're not a particularly great company, and we could go to an internet provider in the area that is not them, which are rated pretty well. They're not stellar, but they're rated pretty well. And I was like, that would be fucking dope. Get some better internet. But yeah, if we do get better internet that comes in that is not from the cable, that is a different line that would have to get installed, my hope is that we could get that into my room. And then I could have wired internet all the time. Better wired internet. That would be cool as hell. I have not. Do you get any free streaming services or your cable you'd have to replace? No, Lashbrook. That's also part of why I'm like, when they talk about cutting the cord, I'm supportive. This cable package does not come with shit for free. No service comes with it. You can log in with your, so the thing that it does come with is you can log in with your cable credentials to watch some channels on via the internet in the same house. Not even like, I couldn't log in. They couldn't log in Florida with the credentials here and watch some stuff. That wouldn't work for them. So for me, that's nice because it means that I don't have a TV in my room that's hooked to the cable, but I can watch TBS and TNT and then USA on occasion or whatever. They're most of the channels work, and I can log into those and watch that. That's kind of nice. But yeah, we don't have like Peacock or anything like through the cable provider. We don't have anything, any extra, things, Paramount or anything like that. Right now, I'm still paying for Peacock through May because I got like $20 for a year or something like that. It was like 20 something for a year, because I was still watching WWE pay-per-views because they were still on Peacock, and I was still kind of watching the product, and I'm not anymore. And now it's like, okay, well, I can let that go. There's like one Law and Order that was for a while was exclusive on Peacock. And now it did well enough on Peacock that now it's on NBC, so my mom could just watch it normal, but she really wanted to watch that one show. And it was nice for the Super Bowl to be able to just go to Peacock and check it out. So yeah, that right now, I have not used my Wi-Fi booster because the Wi-Fi is good enough in this apartment, or house, not apartment, house, that I do have my Chromecast, and I sync it with my phone to watch stuff late at night in there, which has been cool. I enjoy that very much. That is a good bit of business for me. But that I don't need the booster for that to work. That works just fine. So I haven't used my booster at all, which is great. It's a good thing to give that thing a rest because I use it quite a bit, and I don't want to have to replace it. It would suck to have to replace it. I mean, I will at some point because I use it a lot. It's a lot of use, but instead, I would just have that booster like plugged into. If we do get Fios or another fiber thing and plug it in a different room, then I would take that booster into the room like near the TV that is farthest from the Wi-Fi. That would be the plan anyway. All right, let's work on the waist, or the cintura, as it says here on the instructions. We'll get the waist together here. We're almost body complete on this once we do the waist. So we'll get that stuff together here. Yeah, that's kind of it for updates around here. I got groceries today. I'm going to cook up another batch of curry because the first curry recipe I made this month was not pleased with. That did not turn out good. Was not happy with how that worked out. The second batch of curry I made was really great. So I'm going to try to reproduce that batch, but I'm going to scale it up so I get 2 meals out of it. Because if there was one mistake I made is that that it was like the curry sauce, the actual gravy, was enough for 2 servings, but the amount of chicken and potato in there was not enough for 2 servings. So I can basically do it pretty much exactly the same way I did and do it with 2 curry cubes, and it'll be fine. Because doing 2 curry cubes for that amount of chicken and that amount of potato was overkill. So I'm going to switch it up. And onion as well. I got to remember. I'm probably going to do a little less onion than I would like to, just because I'm using what I have in the house. And I probably have a little bit less than ideal number or amount, but that's okay. It'll be fine. Not all of it, but a lot of the onion just kind of dissolves into the curry. I made a big batch of curry last week, but I put too much chocolate and dulled the flavor. Yeah, this version that I'm doing doesn't have chocolate in it. It is a very simple recipe that relies mostly on the curry cube. The curry cube does most of the work, but it is a chicken thigh curry, and it was very tasty when I did it. So I'm looking forward to doing it again. It turned out real good. And then the recipe that I have calls for carrots. I don't like boiled carrots. I never have. I like raw carrots, but I don't really like boiled carrots. So I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do corn. I'm just going to do some yellow corn cooked up separately. It tasted, though, I did it last time. It tasted real good. It was a real good decision on my part. So I'm just going to keep with that decision. Because like I said, it worked. And so do the thing that worked again. I'm just going to double it so that I have 2 meals and maybe even a little bit of a snack. And then white rice, of course, white rice with it. And I just bought another big package of rice, so I'm good on rice. And then when my folks get back, there'll be plenty of rice for them as well. It'll all be good. All right, and then it's gonna go like that, and that goes like that. Sure I'm doing this correctly. I think I'm doing this correctly. One of those things where you're like, well, if I'm not doing this right, I'll find out later. But I think, oh no, this maybe is wrong. Okay, that looks right. This piece I'm not sure about. But I think it's correct. I think it's correct. We'll find out. We'll find out as we go. If I mess up, I can always fix it. Yeah, that's my big, the curry is the last recipe. I didn't do as many new recipes this month as I've done previously. I stuck to a lot of classics. I messed around with my meatloaf recipe. Didn't really like how that turned out. I was frustrated with what I did with that. But the curry was the big thing. The ground beef curry that I did not enjoy at all. It was basically just curry flavoring. It was not runny. It was not what the consistency I wanted. The taste was good, but that's because it had the curry block in it. So what I've done since, I've been more happy with how that has turned out. So we'll keep doing that again. Somebody said something about you had mac and cheese more than I would expect. And I was like, sometimes it's just easy. Sometimes it's as a side. It's just I had milk and I wanted to use that milk. I didn't want to throw away a lot of milk. I did throw away some of it, but I didn't want to throw away too much of it because I didn't really need it. Because I need to have it in case I had hit my subathon goal, which I didn't, so. But I should have made pancakes when I still had milk. I fucked that up. Should have done that. I really did. If that is a regret, is that I didn't make pancakes. I could get milk before my folks get back here. I guess I could do that. I could do that this week when I get odds and ends. I could get milk and then make pancakes. I guess I could do that. Now that I say that out loud, there's nothing stopping me from doing that. So I could do that. But I have not made a decision yet about doing that. So can't say I'm definitely going to or not. All right, then we get C2, the back plate piece on here. All right, news stuff. We can get some news stuff here. The big news story is broken by a lot of gaming reporting that saw a lot of emails that went out. Phil Spencer has retired or is in the process of retiring from Microsoft. He apparently said something back in the September 2025, gave notice this was going to be happening. He has stepped down. The president of Microsoft gaming stuff, Sarah Bond, is resigning from the company. Phil mentions Sarah Bond in his goodbye remarks. Hey, this is the future stuff does not mention her at all. Asha Sharma is going to be replacing Spencer. She is, hey, Lord Crashton, she is currently the president of Microsoft's Core AI, and she is moving into taking over the game group. And then apparently, the game studio head, Matt Booty, has been promoted to Chief Content Officer. So he got a promotion. Bond, who was, by all accounts, being groomed to be the next Spencer, is out. And again, it's conjecture to say, is that them saying, hey, this is your ceiling here, and then she's like, okay, I'm gone? Or was it something where they were like, hey, do you want that job? And she said, no, I don't want that job. And they were like, well, then why are you still here then? We don't know. We don't know. We don't have that information. It's all conjecture. If somebody says, oh, I know, they don't know. They're just saying they know. But it is interesting, I guess, is a way to look at it. All of this stuff is pretty interesting. Oh, okay. I figured this out. This goes in here. What does this mean? Well, I'll say she could have been having passed over the job and decided she didn't want to stay. Yes, Lord Christian. Again, conjecture. We don't know. It is interesting that Phil's heir apparent is not the heir apparent and then is not in the company, and only Phil mentioned her in these emails. That's interesting, but again, we don't know. We don't know, and we can't really know until somebody writes a fucking book. There is some stuff that we can kind of glean from these things. Obviously, the head of Microsoft Core AI becoming the new head of the gaming division will cause some people to worry, right? Are they going to be pushing internally for teams to work even more? Because there obviously has been a push. Are they going to get some green lights? Do you need to be in the gaming space to be in charge of the gaming department? That has been a thing that has been debated back and forth. Is just being a good executive enough if you have the right people? Matt Booty's still going to be there. He's the CCO. You can lean on Matt Booty to do a lot of that stuff, and you can just worry about the numbers and the money and the partnerships and all that. There's certainly a case to be made that it doesn't fucking matter. In fact, perhaps, well, I know they wanted to avoid brand confusion with the upcoming 007 First Light. Yes, so they got to get Bond out of there, right? Yes, because it would be confusing for. That's right. No. The debate goes back and forth. There is an argument to be said that somebody who is from the games division moving high up is bad because they don't speak the same language with the other high up people in other departments, because they look at it, their perspective it doesn't mesh well. There are certainly people who have moved up in the ranks of game dev stuff to those positions, and it's been great that they have that knowledge. Who knows? Look, I do think that Phil Spencer was both very good for Microsoft and also has to take the blame for a lot of fucking bullshit. His fault or not, but the buck does stop with the guy, and he will forever be associated with the not necessarily the fall. I don't want to say the fall, right? We don't know. I can't read the fucking tea leaves, but Phil Spencer will be forever associated with a bad time in Microsoft, in Xbox. He will forever be associated with bad days for the division and for where the company is standing. What does this mean in the future? We don't fucking know. Like, it's her first job involves making 3 commitments, she said in an email. Great games, the return of Xbox, and the future of play. Now, I don't know what the fuck the return of Xbox means, because I was told mere months ago that everything is an Xbox. So I don't know. Great games, that sounds good. Yeah, we love to hear that. She does in her email talk about AI slop, which is somewhat encouraging. That at the very least she is self-aware enough to understand that some of the people that now work for her would be worried about her being, formally the head of core AI. So she does, of course, in this email, use corporate dumb speak. To meet the moment, we will invest new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have: iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love. But we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories. That sounds awful. Players don't empower players. Present players with cool shit. Don't empower players. AI monetization and AI evolve and influence this future. We will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. Now, my real fear is that by saying we will invest new business models and new ways to play, and we will build a shared platform and tools, a thing that people who are not game developers do not understand when they talk to game developers is that you can't. Shared tools only get you so far. It's about experience, and that video games are custom nonsense. They are weird little miracles. And you can't, and to expect efficiency, the idea that you can if we have this one engine and everyone uses it, right? Like, that's the ticket to making things efficient, right? It's just no, that almost never works. It's a fucking kind of nightmare. That is a thing that it seems like everyone who comes in from the outside has to learn on their own and never learns before they get there. That they have this idea that is we integrated all our teams with it's a thing where you're just yeah, you can integrate the teams with Microsoft Teams, but the software, but it's not going to get you the results you immediately think it will get you. Spencer had been at Microsoft for 38 years. That is a lot of fucking years. I do not begrudge him for getting out now. Maybe he should have gotten out sooner, perhaps. Mayhaps he should have gotten out a while back. He retired. This was a statement he made on social media. He's a company man through and through. Yes, sure. He's excited for Sharma. Watching her lean in with curiosity and real desire to strengthen the foundation we built gives me confidence that our Xbox communities will be supported in the years ahead. Yeah, sure. He started as an intern in 1988. That's fucking crazy. That's wild. Who knows, man? Who knows where that's going to lead? That was a big Friday story. But yeah, I mean, like, people who are more thoughtful than me will have ideas and will have thoughts going throughout it. My general thought and sentiment is just like, well, I don't know if this is a good I don't think this is a great thing. I'm not fully convinced it's a bad thing. I guess I'll say that. But yeah, it's interesting. The Sarah Bond element of it is probably the juiciest thing. Like, I'm sure there'll be people that will attempt to get some sort of information on what's going on there, but that is probably the most juicy bit of business. Kind of wild. It's fucking wild. I can say that. I can say that with 100% certainty. It's fucking crazy shit going on. Spencer out. Well, interesting to see as things progress. If that goes anywhere with new directiveness, who knows? Immediate changes, immediate vibe shifts to business as usual until it's suddenly not business as usual anymore. Well, I don't know. All right, let's body complete this kit before we get into the backpack, which is the last step on here. All right, we are complete here, other than the weapon and the backpack. But this is real wobbly here. Let's see if I can get that tightened up here. See if I can get that feeling better. Let's see. Can I get this feeling better? That did not feel great. I think this is not set in right here. There it is. Okay. Now, if I snap that in, theoretically, that will not feel as bad, but that did not feel good in there. So, see if I can get that feeling better. Yeah, no. Okay, so that's going to go like that. This has to go like this. Okay, yeah, that does feel better. All right, great. Good. A little worried there. I was like, this is a nice kit. Real bummer. All right. Let's start working on the backpack. Let's talk about some other gaming news. Season 3 of Skate goes live next month. EA's free-to-play Skate reboot. There is a new addition in Skate in there for Season 3 called Grom, which is an island you can skate around on, which is basically a version of the tutorial. If you played the free-to-play version and you got the tutorial going, you may remember that there is a... we also have the weapon, the backpack and the weapon. That's what we have. You may remember that there is the tutorial was on this island. They've done an expanded version of that, which I think is smart. That's smart. You already did a bunch of assets. Just build it out, right? But here's the deal. In kind of going against what they've said all along about locations not being part of being paid, this is going to be behind a paywall. So March 10th, this comes out. The new island is available to skaters next season. During the first month, premium holders will be able to visit Grum as much as they want, whenever they want. But if you haven't paid for the Battle Pass, you can't get in there until April. So if you don't have the Battle Pass, you got to wait a month. immediately. Immediately, you have to wait a month if you are free to play on there and not using the battle pass there. And then there is a multi-week event happening in April, and you can go there. And then after this multi-week event, which they've not said how long that is, it goes back to being just premium. But then you can buy a day pass to the island after that, which is the RIP chips, which is the in-game currency you earn by playing for 500. So to just clarify, we will never charge for locations has an asterisk, and that asterisk is, for the first month, this, again, a location that is based on the tutorial location. So it is not a brand new thing. But this one, you get to go there by being having the battle pass, being a premium account. If you don't have a premium account, you got to wait a month. Then you can go there for a while. And then whenever that thing is done, then you got to pay day passes to get in. I would describe that as not fucking cool. It seems fucked. I guess I would describe that as, yeah, fucked. Let's see. And then they did say in a video in 2000. So this is a video from 2022, but in 2022, the devs said they were exploring the free-to-play model. They had set some hard ground rules to follow, and one was no map areas locked behind paywalls. And people are fucking mad about it. They made a statement. We launched Skate in early access so we could build it up with players, not behind closed doors, which is like, okay, that's not what we were talking about. That's not what anyone was talking about. Nobody was saying that you built this behind closed doors. What are we doing here now? Since September, we've been updating the world, tweaking characters, adding features our players have been asking for, and there's a lot more coming. Sure, great. Still not what we're talking about here. Yes, sometimes plans have to change. That's part of the deal when you're building in public. We're here, we're listening, and we're going to keep shaping Skate together. So that's their fucking statement is, plans change, pal. Their statement is, yeah, sometimes things change so we can give you what you want, which is like, that's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about, you said you wouldn't gate access to stuff, and then you change that. That's not because of community feedback. What the fuck? That's part of the deal when you're building in public. It's just like, fuck you. What are you talking about? Real shit double speak coming out of them. So anyway, to me, that's a real like, you probably skip Skate for now. That's just my feeling on it. Maybe you feel differently, but I kind of feel like I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Feels a little bad to me anyway. That's just my vibe on it. Feels bad. Here's a weird fucking story going on there. Finji, the people that publish Night in the Woods and Tunic, good people. The Overlands, they got an upcoming game called Usual June. There's some weird shit going on TikTok. Finji uses TikTok advertising, right? To which makes sense. It's marketing team. That they use TikTok. It makes sense that they would use that to reach people, and it's an advertising venue. So they use that. But there's a feature that is in TikTok that they turn off. They were like, we don't want to use this feature, and that feature is Smart Creative, which is the platform's AI thing, and they turned it off. And then people were like, hey, some of your ads are really fucking weird. And apparently there are AI generated ads running on TikTok that they didn't make and they didn't sign off on. And then, people were like, hey, this is fucking weird, because it looks like it's coming from their account, but they didn't make them. Some of it is like weird versions of clip of their art. Some of it is racist and sexual, more sexualized. It's weird and completely out of nowhere. Also, here's a weird thing. The Finji account can't see any of this. Like, those images exist and are tied to their account, but if you're on the account, you don't see any of it, which is really fucking weird. There's like a lot of this is fucking strange, and like, some people would chalk up a bunch of this to just like, oh, this is like the price for working with them and the part of business, but it's like, a lot of this is just fucking really weird. Because like, they've complained to their people at TikTok, customer support, who have like mostly just denied that they exist. And then also acknowledge them, and then didn't acknowledge them, and it's like been a weird back and forth of like trying to get some kind of information about what's going on here and some sort of like fixing this problem. But then TikTok just kind of went radio silent on it and is not replying to them anymore. And apparently at some point, one agent for TikTok basically said, which you can't confirm was a human, which is, again, which is a different problem, but said like, yeah, this is part of a larger thing. We've already figured that out. Okay, we're done. We already made our decision on this and we're good, which is, again, a nothing burger of a response. And hey, here's a weird thing. It's crazy that this is what ended up happening. Finji is no longer going to be running ads on TikTok because they can't trust TikTok to not do AI ads when they explicitly said don't. And it is a good, I would say, if you got a fucking video game, you don't want to advertise it on TikTok, because that seems like a bad call. Because they will, without your consent, reproduce your what you're trying to run there as with fucking bullshit, with AI generated bullshit. So I would say, yeah. Yeah, that's just fucking weird. Does TikTok want me to be grateful for the mistreatment of my company and our game? Asked Saltzman in a statement to IGN. Based on the wild response through the weeks of customer service correspondence we have received, I think this is their stance and take their obvious offensive and racist technology and process and how they secretly use it on assets they're paying clients without consent or knowledge. Which is like, yeah, pretty much that's what it fucking seems like. That's what it seems like they're into. So, yeah, I would say. Fucking wild and weird and shitty. It was a weird thing to come across the past couple of days. Because I think all I started to see was some people talking about it, and I was like, what? What the fuck? What do you mean? Let's see. Any other news stuff? Got a couple more minutes before the pause for the cause. Here's a fun update. Follow through. We've talked about the investigations various counties and states have had when it comes to Roblox. There are numerous states in America who are investigating Roblox here. LA County is suing Roblox over business practices that endanger and exploit children. Los Angeles County has sued Roblox, citing unfair and deceptive business practices that endanger or exploit children. Unsafe online environment that has become a breeding ground for predators. This is, again, the investigations are happening on the state level. This is now a county level. The suit seeks injunctive relief, abatement, and civil penalties up to $2,500 per day of each violation of law. It was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. You can read the complaint if you want. You can find that. That is obviously somewhat readily available if that is something that you are interested in perusing on your own. You could do that. And they are going directly after Roblox. So, like, you are enabling this. This is on you, which is yeah. I mean, yeah. Feels right. And then Roblox is, like, obviously rejecting the allegations. They're dealing with a lawsuit from the state of Louisiana. And they have a statement in response to the lawsuit. They do have an official statement. Does the Roblox company. We strongly dispute the claims in this lawsuit and will defend against it vigorously. Roblox is built with safety at its core, which is just, like, demonstrably, clearly untrue. Oh, dropped a piece. Hold on. Dropped a piece. It's like easily, clearly not a true statement from them. We have advanced safeguards that monitor our platform for harmful content and communications, and users cannot send or receive images via chat, avoiding one of the most prevalent opportunities for misuse seen elsewhere online. Safety is a constant and consistent focus of our work. We take swift action against anyone found in violation of our safety rules and work closely with law enforcement to support investigations that help hold bad actors accountable. There is no finish line when it comes to protecting kids, and while no system can be perfect, our commitment to safety never ends. Parents can visit our safety center, blah, blah, blah. Come on. What are we talking about here? Come the fuck on. This is the thing I'll just say. Like, I understand a lawyer looked over this statement. Lawyer may even drafted this statement. Multiple people had meetings about this statement. All of that is is understandable, and all of that. Maybe when you're being sued, maybe you shouldn't say, just gonna throw it out there. No system is while no system can be perfect, our commitment to safety never ends. It's just like, I don't know about that. I don't know. It seems I don't know. I don't know how we're doing here. We'll see what happens, but I think more and more states are going to follow suit with lawsuits. It's going to become an ongoing thing, and I think that Roblox understands that. Roblox knows that is they've read the tea leaves. They know there was a certain point where they lived in anonymity, and people weren't aware of what was going on, and that has certainly passed. And now people are looking closer, and I think that they are very aware of that. I think they know what's up. They know that people know what's going on with that. That's my guess anyway. Maybe they don't. Maybe they all have big blinders on, and they don't realize that, like, they're just like, everything's fine. Like a couple, states of the union, a couple, like, big counties in America have issues with us. Like, sure, whatever. Maybe they think they're bulletproof. Don't think they are. But maybe they think that they are. There it is. All right. This piece was giving me trouble. All right. A big chunk of this backpack is done. We'll get into more later here. And then on Monday, we'll talk about another studio that is shutting down, a small studio. I'm waiting to read more about it. I will say this. The studio in question seem to be using a lot of AI in their designs. For writing and voice work in the game that they had been working on, which will now not be coming out because they closed the studio. But it did sound like they were been using quite a bit of AI bullshit in that. So I'm sad that people are losing their jobs, but I bet that sim looked like it was going to be balls. So we'll panel line this part, and then we'll build the wings. And then we'll build the lance, and then we'll be done with this kit. Then we can open up we can get into a giant fucking box, which is the next thing that I'll be working on. But before that, a pause for the cause. Hello. This is my opportunity right now to talk to you, the viewer, about ways that you can support me, the streamer, if you would like to. Everything I'm going to talk to you about is optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things, but if you would like to, you're more than welcome to. I would love that. First and foremost, if you are a subscriber, you can throw the emotes in the chat. The Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch. You get Twitch Prime. You can use it for anybody. If you want to use it for me, you could do that. Subscribing is the easiest way to support me financially because you're already here on Twitch. You probably already support other people. You don't have to see ads, especially pre-roll ads, which I know are infuriating because you go to click on somebody because you want to watch them, and then you got to watch ads first, and they're bad ads. They're not badass, they're bad ads. You get cool emotes. Those emotes were made by my friend Xandra. And they're fun. And then most importantly, you'll know that you're supporting me and my endeavors. And that's nice for me. It is a direct way that you can help out somebody who wants to keep making things on the internet. You could also gift a sub to somebody in the community. You could do that. Bits and coins always appreciated. Those are ways to support me here via Twitch. There are other ways to support me financially. It's just, honestly, this is the easiest way because you're already here, so you might as well help me out if you want to. But I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. The $10 tier voted on what I'm going to be starting next, so the next thing that I'll be building. My $3, $5, and $10, once a month, they get to vote on what I play on a Tuesday or watch, whatever content that Tuesday is going to be. My 5 and 10 get to see videos early. They'll get the archive of this stream before it goes on YouTube for everybody else. And my $1 tier gets emails about my schedule and any important events. And they also get messages with the Q&A. The only exclusive content I make for anybody is that Q&A series. I gotta actually remember, because it's a shorter month in Feb, that I gotta send out an email next week to get questions, because I got one question already, and I at least like 2 a month. Let's see, is there anything else with that? No. So I also have a YouTube channel. I'd like to tell you about my YouTube. Let me tell you about the youtube.com/PatBaer, which is a cool little place over there. That's where I post videos. You can check that out. Subscribe if you haven't already, because it's free to subscribe. I would appreciate that. Over on my YouTube, you can see some videos there, a bunch of long form videos, shorts, all kinds of different things and things. But a reminder over there that there's a membership. And for just $2 a month, you can become a member over there, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you get them a day early before other people. You can see what the last video for February, Romance Month, has been. You'll be able to see that before other people see that. Let's just take a look at that, because that would be cool. Those are all monthly way to support me. If you just want to throw something in my Ko-Fi or my PayPal, I understand you could do that. I'd appreciate that. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets. I just bought a very expensive model kit. I was able to do that because of your continued support, and it means the world to me that I was able to say, you know what, this is $40, but it's going to be a very cool build, and it'll be good to investigate and then compare and contrast with a cheaper kit from the same company. So there you go. Those are all. So like I said, I know what I'm building next. I have a backlog of some model kits that I'm going to be able to work on. If you would like to have a say in what I'm building on stream, you could go and buy something off my Amazon wish list. I've got inexpensive kits, expensive kits, all kinds of different things. Lego, knockoff Lego, Bandai model kits from other companies, all kinds of different things and things. And that I would be happy to build, and you can go and see if there's something there that you'd like to see me put together, because I think it would be neat to do that. It is a way to support me and what I do here. So go see if there's something there that you're like, ooh, that would be neat to see Pat. I'd love for Pat to build Dolores, a baby dinosaur from Jurassic World. Dolores, that's there. Yeah, all right. I'll buy that so Pat to build. Sure, you could do that if you wanted to. Or if you're like, I would like Pat to build the Lego City race car and car carrier set. Like that seems like a fun Lego set. Julian's birthday party from Animal Crossing. Like, sure, you could pick that up and I build it. Those are things on my wish list. Now, my alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne. And it's nice to have an alternative, so I do have a list on Throne. It is much more of a curated list, but if you see something there you'd like to see me put together, you could pick that up through Throne. And the most convoluted way and complicated, and if you want to support me financially, but it's got to have a lot of steps to it, because you're like, Pat, I'm not going to help you by just being a subscriber, but I want to help you out financially in a weird way. What could I do? How do I do that? Well, you go to USA Gundam Store and you buy a gift card there. They're going to send you an email with your gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. It's that simple. And of course, when I buy from USA Gundam Store will probably be a model kit that I haven't built before. Okay, so there you go. People have done it. If you want to support me, but you don't want to spend any money, I get it. I hear you. Go check out my Discord. I got a fun little Discord. People post stuff they're working on that makes me very happy. Lately, we've had a lot of people who've been working on their little guys, their little Warhammer guys, and that's been really fun to see that. So yeah, please share if you're working on something. And if you started something in 2026 and you took a break from it, get back into it and then share some photos of what you're working on, because I want to see it. I want to see what you're working on in there. Couple video links for you to check out. Most recently, I did some recommendations of the shit that I'm really liking this season, including a show that I'll talk about in more detail in a bit. But yeah, if you want a recommendation of some stuff to check out, I got a long form video of recommending some stuff. One returning show, again, we'll talk about it in a bit. And then a few other shows that are just like real good and real fun. And then also, there's my weekly anime recommendation series, the shorts, where every month I have a different theme. This month's theme is romance because it's February, you know? So I talked about the delightful Whisper Me a Love Song. And I want to make this clear. It is about two girls in high school. It involves music. There's a lot of girls around it. It is a queer love story. It is not queer baiting. These are two girls that are trying to figure out relationship stuff. One girl confesses, but it was an admiration, not a actual romantic confession. And the other girl says, "Oh yeah, well I'll make you fall in love with me." And then comedy and drama happen, and it's really cute and fun. It's neat, and you should check it out. That's Whisper Me a Love Song, which you can hear me talk about in that 1-minute video. And maybe that'll convince you to go give that a shot. If you're watching like Oshinoko Season 3 on High Dive, and you're like, I would like something else to watch on High Dive, you can watch that. And I'll have another show that's on High Dive to recommend next month. They added a show recently that I was like, oh, fuck. All right. I guess I have to get High Dive because I want to watch the show. And then it turns out that show is fucking good. Which rules. It's so nice when I'm like, a show that didn't come out in the regular seasonal anime in outside of Japan shows up on a service. And then you find out about it. You don't have to like, oh, that's just cool. And it turns out it's good. That's really nice. All right, so I have some anime to talk about here. We got to finish this model kit and then start digging into the next thing. And while we get ready to do that, I also need to drink some water, and we got to get back to the overhead camera, and we should do all of that with a flourish right now. All right. Unfortunately, we can't talk about Frieren. There was no episode of Frieren this week. So when I said we were to talk about it here, what I meant was we'll talk about it next week. So which is not the worst because there's only 11 episodes this season, so it feels okay. It is a bummer that we didn't get that we don't get an episode of that, but we will still talk about an anime in a moment here. I just have to do a quick edit because I forgot. So we'll talk about the episode Easygoing Territory, Defense by the Optimistic Lord, and then we'll also talk about a manhwa as well. But I have to get the name of that because I didn't update it because I fucked up. So hold on. Manhwa discussed. All right, I gotta just put that in there. So let's start right now. We'll talk about the manhwa, and then we'll talk about the anime after that. But yeah, no episode of Frieren this week. It was, I believe, delayed a week, took a week off because of Olympic coverage. That has affected some anime, but not all anime, which obviously is a bummer if you are like looking for a particular anime to enjoy. When you go and you try to find it on the streamer and they're like, oh, you can't. So while I'm finishing up this kit, I'm going to talk to you about Reborn as the Heavenly Demon. That is a manhwa. That is a South Korean comic that I have been reading that I enjoy quite a bit. And then we'll talk about episode 7 of the manga that I've been watching here. So let me just making some changes here. My apologies. Okay, we do that there. We do that there. We do that there. So Reborn as the Heavenly Demon is a reincarnation story. It is a guy who, the Alliance leader, Cheon Hajin, the legendary figure, died. He doesn't remember. This is important because there is a mystery afoot. And this is a thing that other manhwa don't do. And I was like, this rules. Our guy wakes up and he has been transmogrified. He is now in the body of a guy. He's taken over the life of a guy. And he's like, what the fuck happened? He doesn't remember how he died. He's just in this body. And he's like, I got defeated? Who defeated me? Because he was a martial master. He was the heavenly demon. He was like high ranking, very strong, and he cannot for the life of him figure out how he died. So not only should he kind of set things right with the body he's in currently, but he also has the larger mystery of figuring out what the fuck happened. And of course, the body he is inhabiting is a guy who is like weak in character. He's a gambler, and apparently at a certain point he pissed off the family so much that they just kind of like abandoned him and locked him into this warehouse, just kind of like as a punishment. So he's like, I kind of know what this guy was like. Well, I'll try to figure some shit out for him. Because of course he still has his martial arts prowess and knowledge of a bunch of different things, and he's very strong and cunning and smart. But yeah, he's definitely like a trash guy. And he slowly rebuilds relationships with his family, and he comes to realize pretty early on, they fucking love this guy. They love the guy that I embodied, even if he did constantly disappoint them. They're like, they've been burned before, but they're overjoyed that their son, that their brother, that their the son of the patriarch is figuring his shit out and coming around. And it's not just like, obviously there's the big picture element of Hajin is like, I need to figure out why the fuck I died, because I was the alliance leader, and the guy that's taken over for me sucks at this. He's not the guy I would have picked at all, and he's not doing a good job. And then we later find out, oh shit, like there is some sort of force at play. There are people working behind the scenes to orchestrate this, and the guy who's running things now is just a figurehead, and he was not the mastermind. He's a puppet. And so we're starting to unravel mysteries as the story progresses. There is also a lot of like fuck around and find out, which is essential for these kinds of stories, where there are characters that are not only testing him but testing his family, that are going after old compatriots. He has the chance to run into some people that he knew in his previous life who have stayed by and supported him, and he tries to help them out with their shenanigans that are coming up there. And it's just like, it's good. Also, the art is phenomenal. Reborn as the Heavenly Demon looks so fucking good. It is the art style is really lovely. It is just like top to bottom great. There is like prolonged undercover stuff that I don't love. I will say that if you are going into it and you think, I'm going to pick up this manhwa, Pat recommended it, I'm going to check this shit out and see if this is something for me. What I will say is sometimes there are like long stretches of our character pretending to be somebody else and to figure shit out, figure out what's going on. And that sometimes that is like maybe too fucking drawn out for its own good. And maybe it should have been a little condensed. But overall, I think it's really good. Again, I can't stress enough, there are a lot of people who fuck around and find out as he's starting to figure out corruption within the that and getting monochrome of revenge here and there. Revenge for fallen associates, revenge for himself. There are definitely a lot of like people who just like talk a big game and they do not have any good way of backing that up, which is pretty fucking great. It is fun in that nature. But the dichotomy, like a lot of these, like, oh, I've taken over the body of this person stories, kind of pay lip service on occasion to the idea of, oh, I guess we should probably at some point, like, talk, like, oh, we should probably have like a scene where he's like, the dad is proud of him for turning his life around or whatever. Like, oh, we'll do one of those. This one kind of lives with it for a while, and I think that's really charming, that it has some good moments of like him just kind of being thrilled to have this opportunity to have like a loving and supportive family. It's nice. There's some nice stuff in that. That is Reborn as the Heavenly Demon. I will also say it's, again, a big element of this is that this shit is kind of slow on occasion. It does take its sweet ass time to kind of go through stuff. So I would say be prepared for that. And if you're not prepared for that, this might not be the manhwa for you. But I like it a lot. All right, now I'll talk about an episode of anime. And then also we'll do Manga Monday. On Monday, I'm going to talk about 2 manga that I've been reading here, along with the anime chat. We are basically done with this kit. I need to build the weapon, but I need to panel line the backpack, which does, it's got guns. The main guns on this kit, outside of the shoulder mounted guns, are the backpack, which kind of comes up and turns around and then like goes above it to shoot, which I find very funny. It's like another dragon head, only it's got big guns on it. That's the focus for the Altron is always the crazy arms, which is warranted and valid, but it is, I think, sometimes overlooked that there is another element to this kit, which is the backpack guns. The swivel backpack guns are pretty great. All right, so let's panel line this because there's a lot of white on here, so we want to break that up with some gray marker. It'll really make it pop. And I'll talk to you about Easy Territory and Defense by the Optimistic Lord. The end of the last episode, there was an alliance definitely being formed, which was very good for our guy Van. Making an alliance. They killed a dragon. And then Panamera, who is a big deal where she's from, is now going to make a formal alliance with Van, which is very good for him dealing with the fallout of killing a dragon. This is the Gundam for grabbing things that fall behind the couch or the shelf. Yes, sure. Yes, you got a lot of good reach on this. Extendo arms will help you for that. You're right, Lord Crash. So Van, the guy who was, he was kicked out and abandoned. He's now doing the best he can with what he's got. He has just a wealth of mana, just like a ridiculous amount of mana and creativity, because he's a reincarnated person. But also his abilities to make things happen are phenomenal, and people are real impressed. And they also like him. They just think he's great. So he's trying to expand the village. He's got the dragon parts, so some merchants show up. And then, so they show up and they're like definitely shady and not cool. And of course, Van is looking to make long-term relationships with merchants. Their prices are bad. And Bell and Ringo, who are part of the Merchants Association, or Rango, I should say, disagree with the prices. And they're like, yeah, well, we can get you fired. So then Van is like, hey, why don't you just set up your own shop? You're going to make money here. And we can have Panamera help you out. That'll be really strong backing, because she can take credit for defeating the dragon. But she's like, no, I'm not going to take credit for that. I didn't do anything. She did help. She's like, I didn't do that. You did it. Also, you probably should become a baron as fast as possible, because your talent is going to make a lot of people, like, this town is crazy. You should probably hurry up and become a baron because, like, it's going to be hard for you to protect yourself. People are going to be very envious of this land. You should get, like, you know, increase your position. And she's basically strong-arming him to do it. Belle and Rango do very well with their new business. Business is booming. They're doing good immediately. Things are picking up for them. But their carriage got stolen. The shady merchants stole some of their shit by their vehicle, which would sink them normally, except they're in the magic village with the guy who can create things out of nothing. So Van makes a new carriage, and it's better than their old carriage. And then they race the merchants that stole shit from them to the kingdom. And then the local ruler, Dino, is there. And then Petamer's like, hey, this guy fucking killed a dragon before it could destroy your territory. He should probably be, here's a fang. He should be a noble. You should also make him a noble under our country. And then Dino is just like, yeah, national defense. I smell business opportunities. You're backed by someone that I respect and also am probably a little afraid of. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's all sign on the dotted line here. This is all very good. So he's going to make some upgrades to town, but also he needs to name it. They need to name the village. They get some towers. He has lunch. They name it Vantown, which is boring of a name, but sure, it is Vantown. It's more of a oh well, but yeah, they name it Vantown. Everybody's pretty psyched. Some immigrants show up, and from the immigrants, we find out that everyone in the old people in the area refer to this village as Sito. And then we find out that these people, these refugees, these immigrants, are coming from a place that is run by Van's father. And he's been doing a piss poor job of it, of course. So Van says, all right, well, I'll allow you to move in here. You're more than welcome to come here. And it turns out these immigrants that come through have some cows, and Van is very excited about having access to cows. That's going to make things a lot. He can do a lot with that, so he's very stoked about having access to cows. And he has them open up shops and do some labor so they can immediately start making some income. Van is a good leader that thinks of his people, even his new people that he's just decided he's going to try to help out as best he can. So good stuff there from Van. Not a lot of action this episode, but last episode they fucking killed a dragon. So I'm like totally okay with that. If this one is a expansion of the cast of characters and all that, I think that's fine. Every once in a while they have an episode that's not got a lot of nonsense. And you do now have room for even more people to come in to realize how cool Van is. There's some good stuff coming. In the manga, Van has just run into his father for the first time in a long time. And that's going to be a whole fucking thing. But his father can only say so much shit because Van has been recognized countless times by the king of the kingdom, who is a fun character. I don't think we're gonna even get to the part. We might get to the part where the king shows up in the anime. I don't know. I haven't really thought about where and when he shows up and where that would be in the story. But he is a fun character. That is a fun former adventurer king who immediately is just like, all right, I like you a lot. You got a lot of stuff. At one point, he's just like, hey, You are in some ways more fortified than my capital. Are you planning to attack us? And he's like, no. He's like, yeah, I know you're not, but it's a big deal here. But he's just like, hey, what's your fucking deal? What's going on? All right, all we have left is the weapon, which we could have. You can see there's room here on the wings. We could put the weapon there, which we will do for which we will do when the arms are in this mode, because there's battle mode here with extended arms, and so we'll build the small version here, and then we'll take that off to build the actual arm and do the arm stuff here. But I want to build both versions, because why not? Why not build both versions? We'll build the small one first, and then I'll take a photo, and then we'll build the big one. Because to do this, the other one, I have to put the hands quote unquote normal. Which again, why would I do that? I'm only doing that because I'm gonna build both versions. There's no real good reason for me to do that. But yeah, we'll have more Freer next week. I think that's the only anime I watched that had stuff because of the Olympics. As far as I know, I think my anime for Monday will be up, I believe. I don't believe that there's a week off for Noble Reincarnation. I think it'll be the normal episode. Yeah, because that aired this week already, yeah. Oh, no, that was last week, so maybe not. We'll see. There might not be, I might not have an episode of Noble Reincarnation for that day, so we'll have to see. I thought there was. I don't know. They might have taken a week off because of that stuff as well. So I'll have to investigate. I'll have something to talk about on Monday, even if Manga Monday is just me talking about a bunch of manga. I have a lot of manga to chat about. I have got quite a few. I got a long list of stuff. So I will have plenty of things to chat with you about on Monday. And of course, we'll see all of today. And speaking of things to chat about, I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I always love hearing from you about those things. So feel free to let me know what you got going on, because I do want to hear from you about them. For me, as I said, I got Fallout 4 working again, so I'm playing Fallout 4, just building stuff, playing around with mods, goofing around. I'm running around. I'm going to book it pretty much as fast as I can. I got like my trade routes going, but then I'm going to book it as fast as I can to Diamond City so that I can get Piper on board as soon as possible. Because I decided I'm going to do a route with Piper, because I have there is a mod that I'm using that like builds out the affinity system. So I want to try that out. Basically, like it's going to take longer for the romance stuff to happen, and supposedly it uses dialogue stuff that isn't used and all kinds of stuff. And apparently the version with not the version, the route to get Piper to fall in love with you is interesting, so I'm going to try that out. And that's I'm watching anime, and I'm playing Hearthstone every day. There's a new expansion coming, so I'm trying to enjoy the decks I have before a few of them become decks that will just be terrible against the new expansions, and then I'll have to play a new deck here and there. So I'm trying that out. Trying to just enjoy my time in Hearthstone before it gets all messed up when there's a new meta and all that other shit. But I've been having fun in Hearthstone for that, and then reading some manga. Like I said, we'll talk about it on Monday. I've got a few things that I've been really enjoying in the world of manga. So Been having fun with that. And then, okay, all we have left. We have some extra parts here and there from the Shenlong version of this kit, so we don't have to worry about that. But we are almost done with this. Dirty says, watching The Mentalist playing Animal Crossing, New Horizon, and DQ7, Dragon Quest 7, and just finished playing Escape Simulator. Nice. Nice. One of my goals tomorrow is the thing I'm going to be playing on Tuesday. I have to load that up and make sure that it's working properly. So I have to do a test tomorrow. My Voice Zoo, which is a very inexpensive game that's on Steam, where it is I believe a clicker, and you unlock animals, and then you can name the animal, and then you can also give it a voice using the mic. And I want to make sure that this mic, the way I have it set up in my settings, will work. I believe it will, but I need to make sure that it will, because I want it to sound good for everybody, for the experience. So I'm going to do a test. I'm going to do like a test stream. It won't go. It'll be like the test mode in OBS or on dashboard through Twitch. So you won't see it on Sunday when I'm live, because I won't be really live. But it'll be a good test. That way I can play a little bit of the game, make sure the audio is all working, and that it should work. It should work just fine. All right, we're going to take 2 photos of this. We're going to do the first photo here, and then we have to shove the arms back in and take another photo. So let me get that going here. And see if there's anything else I want to say about what I'm up to. I did yard work, and I'm feeling like my nose is really stuffed up, and I'm very tired from doing all that. So tomorrow I'm going to take it real easy. I'm just going to clean. I'm just doing some house cleaning. And then some cooking. So I'm excited for about both those things. All right, so we got big dragon arms and back gun there, neck gun or head gun. And so then we can turn this back around. We can take this off here. And then we have to make these arms go back where they need to go back here. So we have this arm be normal. And then I think I want to use the different hand to hold this here. So we can do that. Got to make this normal. Fold this back around. Lord Crashes says, I've been rewatching Mass Alex and decided to just start up the first game in the Legendary Edition, where I'm at the Citadel for the first time. It looks pretty nice so far. Hell yeah. And then Lord Crashens also says, Jan's at the Enos lobby arc in One Piece. He's cooking. Yes, Jan is going through. He is seeing what's up. You know what? I could probably just use this hand here. And we love that for him. We're happy for Jan that he is enjoying his time in One Piece. Last week, watched a bit more Dragon Ball. Goku's in West City now and met the most Canadian cop alive to guide him to Bulma's house. Yes, that is a Canadian-ass voice in the dub, for sure. Haven't played a lot, but inspired by some streams. I've messed around a little bit with Teardown and Helldivers 2. I have a Helldivers 2 date tomorrow night. I'm playing Helldivers 2 with the crew. It has been a hot minute since we played that. We have 4 now, at least, seemingly convinced my friend that we're not going to play any more Firebreak. I believe that we have ended the time that we would be playing Firebreak together, which is great, because I like Firebreak, but I've had my fill several times now, and so I was looking to wrap that up. And so we're going to use Helldivers 2, because like some shit's going down in Helldivers 2. It's been a hot minute since we played, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow night, and I'm excited about that. Teardown is a game that, you know what? I've never ran Teardown on this PC. With like the last time I played Teardown, it was on my previous PC with its not great, or certainly not as great, graphics card. I wonder. Maybe I should do that before at the very least, I should just download it before I go back into the Wi-Fi only. I should get it. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll take a look at Teardown. It's been a long time since I saw anything in Teardown. I would kind of like to see how some of the fucked up shit would look with this particular setup that I have now. Let's get this hand in here. I don't love the trident. The two-ended trident is cool. I think it's cool looking, but for me anyway, I'd much rather just use the extendo dragon arms. I think that's way fucking cooler than the dragon arms are far superior in my opinion to having like the arms not wildly extended and instead have fucking the two-ended trident is cool. Don't get me wrong. Two-ended trident is cool. I just think dragon arms are cooler. That's where I fall on it. Is that dragon arms are superior in every way to a trident. But if this is how you want to display your kit, you can display your kit like this. I think that's reasonable. I'm not knocking it. Let's get a photo of this in here. All right. So we get a photo together of this. And booyah. Again, this kit was originally a premium Bandai kit, which they then made for people to be able to buy this. You can get the Death Scythe Hell, which I highly recommend. The heavy arms, if you've recently built the high-grade heavy arms, you don't need the double barrel heavy arms because it's just the same kit plus the double barrel. This is, has the bones of the Shenlong, but is in many ways a new fucking kit. Because it's the Altron instead of the Shenlong. The Death Scythe Hell is its own kit and great. So I think those are the two that I would recommend, that one and this one, more than the heavy arms. But if you haven't built the heavy arms in a long time, the double heavy arms is just double barrel. I mean, it's still fucking good. All right, we'll put that aside here. And then I gotta do a little accounting here for the rest of the stream. Got a little time left. I'm not going to say we're even really starting our Megatron build, which is the next thing we're working on, but we can get that together and take a look at it. But I can just move all this stuff here to deal with this later. Deal with all that later. Go there. And then we can get into the big fucking box. This is a big ass box that I am going to be dealing with here in a second. No tools required for this build, supposedly. So we can at least take a look at Megatron. Action Edition Megatron. Let me get it. Hold on. Where's that box? Where did I put it? Here it is. Lord Crashton played the demo for Titanium Court. That is very weird and cool. Replace demo was very fun and looked great. Nice. Yeah, I haven't played any demos. Okay, so this is the next thing we're working on. This box is fucking huge as hell. I'm gonna zoom out here. This box is fucking big. This is a $40 model kit. And so far it does feel like $40. This is part of the 40th anniversary of Transformers. This is the Action Edition. We previously built the classic. Pat, do you collect non-Gunpla Gundam figures? I want to get figure arts Char so bad. I do not collect. I focus on model kits. I don't buy action figures. The figure arts I think are phenomenal. Or like mini busts. I don't buy those. I used to buy action figures when I was younger, but in my adult life I have not bought those. The closest I get is action figure model kits, like the Dragon Ball Z line or the Dragon Ball in general line. I enjoy those. I have a Teen Goku, the Ultimate Goku, which is fun. I like those, but I don't pick up action figures. Figure Arts makes some fucking phenomenal things, for sure. Once again, this is the classic. This is the, like, high grade. If this is a master grade, this is the high grade of it. And I'm keeping that out so we can take a look at that later. That was $20. This is a $40 box here. And again, they do have the no brush required, no glue required, no cutters required. So this is a no tool build. We have those tools if we need it, but supposedly you don't. The chest and eyes do have lights that can glow. So that is the little battery thing will be in there. The fact that it was in the $20 one, I was very surprised about. But yeah, blockies are blokies. I still haven't figured out. You know what? By Monday, I'll know. By Monday, I promise I will know what the fuck to call this. I heard people say blockies, and I've heard people say blokies. I think it's a double E, but if they had only one E, it would be blokes. It does come with Laserbeak, Lashbrook. It comes with Laserbeak, yes. It is one of the things included. I'll show you here. It is one of the things that are included with this. Exclusive accessories. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I was like, oh, I want this. I will spend the money for this. The fact that it comes with the throne, and apparently the back of the throne, you can put all the extra stuff. So the extra faces that it comes with, you can put in there. The little things that are the extra little things that are in there, you can throw in to the throne. And the fact that it has the throne, happy about that. It doesn't transform. It would be crazy if it did. I think it would definitely be more than $40 if this became a gun. So it doesn't. But we can do a little bit of an unboxing here because we'll really dive in on Monday. There's a lot in here. Oh, there's a lot in here. Oh, put that there for a second. So we've got the booklet, and then there's another booklet. Please read all instructions for using the product. And I don't know why there's like an extra instructions about the batteries, and I think it's to like replace the batteries. So this is an instruction about how to replace the batteries in it if you needed to, which is kind of cool that that's in there. I assume later I assume they did that because they had to eventually. Color booklet here, which I'm excited about. My one note on the previous build, the Shockwave we built, was I thought the Shockwave booklet was too small, and I stand by that. This booklet is bigger, which makes a lot of sense because this is a bigger kit. You can see all the parts here. They do have the thing where there is the runners, and there are parts that are not part of a runner. I don't like this. I do not like the non-runner parts, the module list. I don't like that at all. I continue to not like that. And apparently there's some parts that we don't need, which is interesting. So we'll have some leftovers. Those must be for similar kits of this size. It was just easier to do a sprue. It's probably just like, yeah, we'll put those on there. It's cheaper to do that. But yeah, and it does the like, here's how you understand what these things are. Here's the sequence of doing things. We're starting with the head, which is how I want to start. This is not plastic, but this is kind of like a plasticky paper, and then like a glossy paper, and this is more like not newspaper print, but it's more it's not glossy. This is more matte paper, which is fine. It is noticeable, the difference there. But yeah, no stickers. No color correcting stickers on this kit. It's all layered plastics to do the different colors that you need. So we can kind of look at some of this stuff here. a wide variety of sprues that I'll have to go through and get organized here, but they should be lettered. And then there are sprues that are lettered, and then there's just like stuff, like there's just things in this bag. And so I would think about what I did last time was I cut up over all the bags that had stuff in them that I needed. I think this time I am going to wait until I come across something that is not on a sprue and then open it within the bag and just open it a little bit and kind of let these parts live in the bag until I need them. I think I'm going to do that. So like basically anything that's not a sprue is just going to go back in the box until I need it, and then I can pull out those from the boxes when the time comes. It'll be slower to do it that way, but I think it'll be easier to keep track of things. And then the stuff that's in the sprues here will just go on the shelf. And so that's kind of the plan I have here, is to just kind of do it like that. We got a few more minutes left on the stream tonight, so we're not really going to dive into this yet. But I did need to know what I was going to be working on. This is obviously this is the master grade to the classic line's high grade. I think the plastic all feels great. The highest compliment I can give a model kit is if it feels like an action figure. The Shockwave feels like an action figure. I think the waist, the connection isn't my favorite. The way the legs meet the waist, I don't love, or into the torso. But it feels like this could feel like like an action figure, and that means that to me says a lot. So I think this plastic, it's ABS. I think it's quality enough. It's on the sprues well. You can remove every part without using tools, and it doesn't leave anything behind. I have to remember who this little fucker is. I don't remember this guy. This is somebody, apparently, but I don't remember who that is. But yeah, I'm like interested in. Oops, hold on. Sorry, drop something. I gotta pick that up. I'm interested in figuring this one out and comparing it with the previous builds that we did here. Comparing and contrasting the two, because maybe I'm gonna finish this process and go, you know what, this wasn't worth the $40, but the $21, the $20 ones I still think are good. Or I'm gonna go, yeah, man, now I'm looking at the other ones, the other $40 kits, are the other expensive ones, the other action ones, because they are doing a line soon, apparently. The Action Edition line, I should say. They are doing some movie stuff. So, I mean, if they have a Rodimus Prime, I really do like Rodimus Prime. I think that's a fucking cool-ass design. I was like, I'd probably get that. I probably would. So we'll see. We'll see how we feel about this. The next several streams we'll be working on this stuff. The hands are... Pay attention to the length of fingers. A lot of English here on the hands conversation, which is good, because you don't have to break stuff apart to try to figure out how to fix it. Got a lot of weapons here. The energy sword, the mace, the Energon handgun. Hell yeah. Laser beak, you can see we are going to build a laser beak, which is awesome that it comes with that. And then, as I said, I don't remember who Kremzek is, or Kremzek. I don't remember who that is. I know who fucking Reflector is. It's cool that it's coming with a reflector. That's neat. But I don't know who this little guy is. I don't know what this is. But then also, yeah, the lid of the seat of the throne can come up, and then you can put stuff in there, and then the gun goes in the back. That's smart. That's smart and good. Smart and good and good. Hell yeah, I'm excited about all this shit. And then replacement faces. The face replacements. Got the various faces you can do on here. And then, and then you can swap if you want Laserbeak to be on. Like, why would I not do this? Are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to put fucking Laserbeak on hanging out here. Like, why wouldn't I build the Laserbeak that can perch? Of course I'm going to do that shit. Will I put the gun on there? Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do the mace arm or the energon gun. And there's also a display base, and then you can also put Laserbeak on the base, which is cool. Hell yeah. This is cool shit. I'm excited to work on this. Licensed by Hasbro. Yeah, this just looks cool as shit. Also, it's authentic. Kremzeek seems to be a popular thing to include with Megatron. He was in like one episode. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I don't remember Kremzeek at all, or Kremzik. I don't remember that little guy. I wonder if Vinny... Could I cold ask Vinny about Kremzik, and would Vinny know? Maybe I'll send him a message and go, hey, you know what this is? The reflector is fun because it's a reference to an IDW comic cover where they ripped off the Killing Joke, but with Megatron and Reflector as the camera. Yes. Also, yeah, just Megatron likes Reflector. All right, that's gonna do it for tonight's stream. I've got to go and watch wrestling. So I'm going to stop here. I want to thank you all so much for spending some time with me here on stream. I appreciate you very much. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit and go spend some time with them. On Monday, going to fucking start this Megatron. That's going to be dope as hell. And I hope you will come hang out with me for that. But we are going to go on a raid, and then I'm going to watch professional wrestling. As John says, we always end with a raid. Also, hi, I'm John. Happy you're here. Ooh, Liz. What's Liz doing? Liz is playing some Monster Hunter Portable 3rd with a friend. Liz has been going for almost 8 hours, but also when Liz streams, Liz goes for fucking ever. So I think we'll be okay. Maybe also Liz is wrapping up. I don't know, but we're still going to raid Liz because it'll be fun. Let's go hang out with one of my favorite streamers. And then reminder, tomorrow, whoops, what happened there? Raid, Liz, there. We love Monster Hunter Portables, indeed. We're going to go raid Liz. A reminder, Monday, I'm starting this Megatron. It's going to be a fucking endeavor. I am very excited to see where that goes. So I hope you can come along for that because I think it'll be really fun. And then, thanks so much for being here. If you haven't already, hit the follow button. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do that. That would be cool. Shout out to Bunny Fiend for giving me a gifted sub to not Will Smith. That was very kind. I don't think Bunny Fiend's going to see this, but whatever. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.